Trisha Paytas has some controversial opinions yet again, of course. This time, in a new YouTube video titled The Whole Johnny Depp Situation, she basically says she's all for believing all victims and that she has a little bit of empathy towards Amber Heard because she said she probably has some attachment issues and mental health issues that she can relate to. And that she's been in similar situations with previous partners. We all know how that went. She says mental health is not an excuse to excuse all the actions Amber Heard did, though. But she then goes on to use these excuses to defend her. Also, it was just revealed that Amber Heard was diagnosed with histrionic personality disorder, an extreme form of narcissism. I wonder why you can relate to Amber and sympathize with her so much. Maybe it's because you literally said the same thing about hitting Moses. I didn't punch you like that. I just did this. Seriously? She said this on the Frenemies podcast.
And then he said that you were.
Because we weren't dating, and like in his defense, like we weren't dating, but then also
he said he broke up with you because you started like punching him.
He's shaking his head no.
Oh, okay. You said I could say everything.
I did not punch him. You said that's why you broke up with me because I punched you? I went like this.
Okay.
And he's frail. But I didn't punch him. Frail. It was okay, if you want to fine. If you're leaving this in, I'm gonna have to say the full fucking story. Because what happened is we were like upstairs and I took his phone. I saw like other DMs to girls. He like not tackled me, but like we went to the floor, and so then I like punched back, but I never punched him. I wasn't like, hey, you piece of shit. Like I wasn't like that.
You guys had a tussle?
He had bruises. So of course he's like, oh my God, like look. And I was just like, I didn't do it like on purpose. I wasn't like that. You know what I mean? It was a tussle.
You guys were fighting over his phone? Oh my God.
Well, then I took his keys, and so he was trying to get the keys back. But can I say?
Yes.
How long did we fight for the keys? Like 12 hours? Yeah. Off and on?
That's exactly what Amber did when she called Johnny an effing baby and said, I didn't deck you. I was effing hitting you. What is this excuse from both of these women? She says she's only been in one case of domestic violence where she was the aggressor. I'm assuming she's referring to the incident where she hit Moses and literally left a huge bruise on his arm, and then made a big deal about it when people found out and started calling her out on it. But seriously, one isolated incident of domestic violence? Trisha, did you forget about chasing Jason naked in a hotel room with a knife? Blocking the door, preventing both Sean, Moses, and Jason from leaving. These are all her ex-boyfriends, and Moses, who is currently her husband. Fighting over Moses' keys and preventing him from leaving. Driving into Jason's house, which his children live in, and then following him in your car, causing a huge accident while you were high, and then telling the valet at your wedding to not give Moses access to the car keys. Isn't this controlling? This is insane to me. These are all the things you stated with your own mouth. Like, it's not that, oh my God, she was exposed. No, she just outright talks about it and just says it plainly in all her videos. And there are a ton of compilation videos out there with all these things in them. But it's just one isolated incident that you worked through, right? Sure, Trisha. Imagine the things Trisha was not caught doing. Horrific. She says she's always had a lying problem growing up. Seems to me she hasn't gotten over that problem. She lies constantly about every little thing. It's like she can't stop. She's been caught multiple times lying about little details that literally can be fact-checked. Like, what is this person's problem? Trisha, you need help. She also says she's never lied on somebody ever with an allegation because everything is easily found out, corroborated, etc. This is in her own words. Do you remember the teacher you accused of touching you inappropriately and then saying he later went to jail for having CP on his computer, telling everyone on the podcast and the viewers to go check, to go Google it and fact check, and saying his name out publicly? But when people actually did fact check you on what you said, they found nothing of that sort. And it turns out the poor man had passed away and he cannot defend himself, obviously. How disgusting. How dare you lie on a dead man's name to tarnish and ruin his reputation after he passed away? It's one thing to call someone out for things they've said or done that have hurt you years later because maybe you didn't have the courage to say it in the moment. But that's fine. I'm all for calling out and exposing creeps. But to lie and then be exposed for lying in front of millions of people, all that does is take away from the credibility of women and people that want to step forward and expose and talk about their abusers. That's all that does. You're just harming everyone by continuously lying. And to go and say, I've never lied on somebody ever in your video, girl, check yourself. Also, did she completely forget about Moses's victims that stepped forward accusing him of stealthing, which is literally our word? And she didn't care and she didn't believe them? Believe all victims, but you won't believe Moses's ex-girlfriend that was so much younger than him? You criticize Keemstar for dating a young woman, but not Moses? What is this double standard? Even if you don't believe accusations due to audios, you can see his abusive texts to these young girls. So it's believe all victims except the ones that are inconvenient for you? And believing victims is about believing that their stories are worth investigating. It's not about blindly believing every story anyone ever comes up with. It's not about dismissing it. Believing victims means giving someone the respect of looking for evidence and then believing them, instead of brushing it off like people do and have done for years. She was also sort of supporting Johnny Depp in this as well. But you can't support both of them and then go and give excuses for Amber's behavior to cover up and excuse your similar behavior that you have done in the past. I believe that's probably what she's trying to do and trying to relate it to her situation, being like, but look at this. I don't. She probably has some mental health issues and then attachment issues. She probably doesn't mean it. That's what she's trying to do to cover up her own name. And at some point in every single one of her videos, she says, I try not to speak on other people's drama. No, you don't. You do it every chance you get, and you twist things to make them about you. Not everything is about you, Trisha, especially when you're the abuser defending another one. That's literally the whole point of this video. If you think you've publicly acted any differently than Amber has behind closed doors, you're completely mistaken. You are in the same league as Amber. The irony and lack of self-awareness is abysmal. Like, I can't with this woman. She said, it's a tough situation in reference to the question of Amber Heard ever being able to work again. No, it's actually very simple, not complicated at all. Like, she should not be allowed to have any work at all. Like, why do people find the concept of punishing abusers for their actions and making them pay for them to be complicated? It's not at all, especially when Johnny Depp has lost all his roles and he doesn't have work anymore. What is this? How is this fair? Also saying it's hard for me to talk about and it's something that hurts me to this day. How gross do you have to be to victimize yourself about the abuse you caused to your exes? Like, it was hard for you. Do you think your victims find it easy? Do you think so? How hard do you think it is for one of those men to talk about? I cannot imagine having such a nasty soul, honestly. She has traumatized Jason, Sean, and Moses, honestly, but Moses isn't any better, honestly, but we can't deny the abuse that she caused him. And to abuse someone and then victimize yourself for doing it, it's so pathetic. To watch Trisha Paytas, a known domestic abuser, talk about this genuinely makes me sick to my stomach. Shame on you, honestly. And why would she even make this video? Like, she's talking about her past experiences in this video and heavily downplaying them, by the way, and shining a light on them. How would this benefit her in any way? Like, she's just setting herself up and opening a can of worms. No one was relating the situation to her, which they should, honestly, because she's done similar things and abused her exes before, but no one was talking about it. No one was calling her out on it. But then she comes up with this video. At this point, she's just begging for clicks because she knows this situation is talked about. Like, this is the popular topic on the internet nowadays. And Trisha never gives her own opinion, like, ever. She gives either the most popular, like the least popular, or the most outrageous opinion on a current topic, like, to try and stay relevant. Honestly, I think that's the only reason she does it, and she's been doing it for years, and she's going to continue to do it, to just make people talk about her and make videos of her. Like, it's kind of what I'm doing, but I guess it's working. Um, it's just outrageous, and yeah, she will just, that's same old Trisha. She will continue to do this. She will never change. There was a point in time where people, and me myself, I thought that she had kind of changed. She's grown on the Frenemies podcast. She was showing some growth, but yeah, that's all down the drain now, and I don't think this woman is ever capable of changing. So yeah, what do you think about this situation? Like, is she right for saying this? And what do you want me to talk about next?